morning. Today we're in Cromer. We're going to go on a walk today between two of the most authentic seaside towns left in England. It's going to be an amazing day. Let's get down to the pier, to the seafront. It's the best place to be, and I'll tell you all there. We're going to be walking along to Sheringham, a small section of the Norfolk Coastal Path. I'm excited for this. It's supposed to take about 2.5 hours. It's about 4.5 miles. And yeah, we start from Cromer. It's an authentic feel to a traditional English seaside town. The Victorian boom of seaside resorts started this place off. The Victorians used to come here by rail. The rail station's just a mile or so down the road. And the pier behind me dates back to 1901, and the crab here, the Cromer crab, is famous around the world for the sweet taste that he has. I think it's something to do with the water this year. Anyway, we're going to be taking the Norfolk Coastal Path down there to Sheringham. I'm going to tell you about the facts of the walk on the way, some amazing history here. We've got the Cromer Pier over there, and we go that way to Sheringham. On the way, I'll tell you about the deep history of this area. It's the deep history Norfolk Coastal Path. They found evidence here of prehistory, so I'll tell you all about that, and we'll get going, shall we? But before I go, I'll tell you a fascinating fact about Norfolk and Cromer that not a lot of people actually realise when they visit this amazing town. Cromer has one of the very few end of pier theatres left in the UK. You can see it just over there. It's actually a working theatre. Not many people realise that there isn't many of those left in the UK. We have piers, but all the theatres are closed. Well, Cromer's still got theirs going. Albert Einstein was a Jew. He fled Nazi Germany in 1933, and he actually stayed in Runton Heath, just down the road there, for 3 to 4 weeks before he fled permanently to America. There was fears that he'd be assassinated because he was anti-Nazi and a Jew, and there was locals that used to protect him with shotguns, as well as his security detail, and he played the violin while he was there, and there's a famous bust, sculpture made of him when he was there. And yeah, people visit Cromer and don't actually realise that's a very key part of its history. A famous person, a great mind like Albert Einstein, staying here in Cromer. But anyway, we're going to get walking, and I'll tell you more on the way. Let's go. Now, I had the idea for this when I was researching into my video for Norwich. Now, Norfolk has some amazing walks, some amazing places to visit, and I think I'm going to have to make a few videos in Norfolk this year. Beautiful, and yeah, some great experiences. I've picked a marvellous day for this. It's so sunny and quite warm. The hoodie might have to come off soon. Now, the actual coastal pathway is actually a cliff-top pathway up there. Let me show you. But you've got some of the locals walking along the beach here, walking their dogs and walking on the sand. It's not advisable because the tide can come in and cut you off on this stretch, but if the locals are doing it, then it's going to be okay. I think we pick up the proper coastal path further down, where you can get back up towards West Runton, I think it's called. Yeah, a few stones on this beach, but if you stay where the water washes up, make sure you don't get your feet wet, you'll be okay. Yeah, so my videos might be a bit few far in between this month. I was due to go on a trip 2.5 weeks ago, and that promptly got cancelled because of some sort of fault with the place I was visiting. I'm going to keep it under wraps because I'll film that later on in the year. I don't want to tell you too much about that. And then the other day I was due to go to London to do some filming, and there was an incident along the tracks. All the trains got cancelled for the morning, and it just didn't leave me enough time with an afternoon train to get any filming done. So yeah, that got cancelled too. So for 4 weeks worth of videos, I lost 2 journeys. So yeah, we have to miss a week this month. And this trip was booked when I'd done my noise video, as I said. And on the way here, I saw lots of potential journeys and days out. Some amazing ones. I didn't know they were there. And you have to keep an eye out for those on the channel. Okay, so I'm about a mile in. I thought I'd wear my trainers today because it's a reasonably flat walk, and my last minute decision to do this stretch by beach was probably the wrong decision. I should have stuck to the path up on the cliff tops there, because walking on these stones is a blooming nightmare. And of course, if I walk on the sand over there, it's quite hard going. So you want to try and stay on the compacted stuff here that the water's washed over to make it a bit easier. Oh, nightmare. Now this is a better stretch of beach. Yeah, it was quite rocky back there. Yeah, it's a bit difficult to walk. This is fewer rocks on the beach here. But yeah, my advice is stick to the top path all the way. Yeah, it's a bit treacherous underfoot. I just spotted what I think is a pillbox from the Second World War. I'm going to go and have a look. Yeah, this is a Second World War pillbox. It's obviously subsided a bit, and the sand's reclaimed it. Beach has called it its own. Ah, there you go. Bit of World War II history there. Now the coastline here is devastated by coastal erosion. The sea reclaims on average metres every year in areas, and yeah, it's washing away and all collapsing down, being reclaimed by the sea. But that also has another marker of its history, because the earth is like that here. That means that it was once part of the sea and pushed up during the Ice Age, and that's why along this coast you'll find skeleton remains of prehistoric animals. Woolly mammoth has washed up further down there. I'll tell you about that in a minute. But yeah, as the coast erodes year after year, sometimes you'll find the odd skeleton or two. Okay, so I reached East Runton, and I was just going to stop to have a drink and change this hoodie, put my fleece on, and I think I might have found the remains of another pillbox, maybe. Now you see it's not in very good condition, and that's because there's evidence here of the coastal erosion that goes on all around East Anglia. Let me just get over here a bit, and you can see there. There's no dinosaur bones sticking out of that landslide, but yeah, I left my lunch, changed my hoodie, and I'll tell you more about what makes this stretch of coastline so important. Yeah, so I changed my top, much cooler. So as you see from the coastal erosion, it sometimes opens up the ground to discoveries, and in 1990 archaeologists here found a massive woolly mammoth skeleton. It's the biggest steppe mammoth skeleton anywhere in the world. There's a statue here somewhere in the East Runton, West Runton area. I'll have to find out when I go up onto the coastal path. I'm going to go up there now. There's just the other side of these rocks here, and we'll try and find that. But amazing discoveries found here. Now, just outside the coastline here, I'm not exactly sure where, somewhere between Cromer and Runton, they found footprints in rocks, and obviously they're solidified and preserved, and I think maybe they're discoverable at low tide, or at least they were found somewhere along here, and they date back to early man, hundreds of thousands of years old. So this coastline really has a lot of history and a lot of discoveries, and they're always making discoveries year after year along here. Now, I think before I move on, I'll sit, have me packed lunch that I bought, enjoy the coast, and I was just reading that this coastline has got many shipwrecks just off the coast. This was a very treacherous coastline in stormy weather, and that's why you've got the lifeboat house, historic old lifeboat house up at Cromer Pier, and you've got more across the coastline there, because this coastline is notorious for its shipwrecks and ships getting into difficulty. Okay, changed into my fleece, had my lunch, had a drink, let's get going. Now I assume it's this way. Now we'll be following the coastline from the cliff top path. We've just got to find it first. Oh, I should have sat here. I could have sat here and had my lunch. Look, lovely. And in the distance here you've got Cromer, where we just left. Now we just got to find the route out of here. And here we are. We found the path again. Let's go. Coastal path to Sheringham. That's us. Yes. Oh, which way? Which way? This way. So in the distance here I can see Beast and Bump. I'll tell you about that when we get there, but first we need to find something else here, very close by. And here you can see evidence for the coastal erosion. So this all gave way, but people take that as a walkway down. Not me, I'm afraid, not me. It really is very hot today, I'm sweating. Can't take this off though, because it's too cold to take this off, but too hot to leave it on. And I think the solar panel's getting burned. I might need to put the cap on in a minute. So the coastal erosion, you'll get all your skeletons washing up down on the beach when the waves wash over and expose all the remains. And this was a tundra hundreds of thousands of years ago. So this is an area you'd find all your woolly mammoths and your giant deer, and just lots in this area. Even quite far from here, they were building like an an adaptation. They were building an adaptation to the A14 where it meets the M11, so they were renewing the junction there, and they were digging up the ground and found a massive woolly mammoth skeleton there. There's lots in this area because it was grazing lands and swampy, and a big flat open area. So just down here is something I want you to see. Let's go. We'll get there in a minute. And here's your woolly mammoth statue. So this tells you about all the different species here: hippos, deer, the mammoths. In this case, a steppe mammoth that was found here, as well as others. And here we are with some of the details of that excavation when they found the steppe mammoth. And look at the size of this thing. Look. So there's his tusk, is one of the bones, and look how big that bone is compared to that lady. Now in the distance there you can see Cromer, where we started, just over halfway, actually more like 2/3 of the way. Next towards Beeston Bump, and I'll tell you about that when we get there. Let's go. Coastal Path. Oh, so hot, even the lightweight fleece has come off. Try and keep cool. I'm walking on the cliff edge, you know, and the caps come out because protects the solar panel. Anyway, I've done about a mile and a half since I last sat and had a drink, so the next bench I find we'll have a rest, I think. Now I found a bench to sit on, and I'm going to take on some sugar, keep me going. But I was just reading that the footprints I mentioned earlier that they found were actually along the coastline here, and they're 850,000 years old. Early man. Amazing. This is a deep history coastline. It's spectacular. This is a pathway that once had mammoths walking across it. Amazing. Brilliant. Okay, that's it. Let's get back to it. Yep, going the right way. Now just look at this scenery here, look at that coastline up there, spectacular. This really is one of the most beautiful coastal walks anywhere in the UK. Now up here we'll get to a new campsite. Looks like you can get your drinks over there. You'll find a lot of campsites along this walk. All of them have got toilets, places to sit down, get a drink. You really can't go wrong in the summer months at least, and probably even the spring. Fantastic, you must do this walk. Hello, alright. This is rather nice. We've got their own little lake up on the cliff top. That water may very well be part of the sea very soon though. Sorry, I looked up and it wasn't as wide as I thought it was. Thanks very much. Thanks.
You always meet people on the narrow bit.
I know, yeah.
That's
Oh, yeah, that's the way it goes. Yeah. Have a nice day. So you can see the storm defences down there. That's to break the waves to stop them eroding this coastline faster than needs be. So they've put these up, but you can see where the sand's washed over and backfilled these defences that you see here. It's been backfilled down there, and eventually this wash over that, I'd imagine, and they'd have to start all over again. Oh my goodness, I'm stopping now. Wow, would you look at that view? You can see the church right in the distance here in Cromer, where we started this morning. That's a big fitter. That's embarrassing. And up here you've got plenty of bases to sit on and enjoy the view. And there's your Beast and Bump mark. And down there is Sheringham. So let me tell you about Beast and Bump. This coastline was formed during the last ice age. I hope you can hear me over the breeze. And Beast and Bump was pushed up higher than the rest of the coastline, and so it provided a very good navigation point. As you can see for miles and miles down the coast there, and the fishermen would look out for Beast and Bump, and they'd probably have some sort of fire on top here, I'd imagine, and use it as a navigation point to get into Cromer, round the cove there, or Sheringham here. Now Sheringham used to launch their fishing boats directly off of the beach, make it very dangerous, especially in stormy weather, and the Coast Guard was set up down there as we saw in Cromer, and the fishermen along here would fish in treacherous weather and rely on the Coast Guard down at Cromer to get them out of trouble. But the Beast and Bump was a navigation aid for all of the sailors to cover all of this amazing coastline. The view up here is spectacular. But we're going to be heading down to Sheringham, and that's where we're going to finish to get our train home. And you've got the Poppy Line, the heritage railway system run by volunteers there. I'm going to do that later in the year with my boy, or both of them, if they both want to come. And you've got the I think it's the Beeston Line or something like that, which runs down here. Sometimes from up here I read that you can actually see the trains running, but can't see any at present. But when we get down to Sheringham, hopefully we'll get to see a steam engine. Fingers crossed. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. On there, I think. very nearly there. It's been an amazing day. So we're very nearly into Sheringham. Let's get into town. I'll tell you a bit more. I'll catch up with you then. I need to get my breath back. Thank you. Cheers. So behind me is the Wee Retreat. It's accommodation that used to be public toilets. You can rent out. Amazing, funny. Wee Retreat. So here we are, arriving into Sheringham. We've walked 4.5, 5 miles, depending on whichever you believe. Now Sheringham has more of a working seaside town feel. There's all these huts for the people to buy. They're quite expensive from what I understand. But yeah, Sheringham, it makes it quite one of the world's Start again. Sheringham makes it one of the more dangerous places for fishermen to work from, because they launch their boats directly off of the beaches here, and yeah, you can imagine that doesn't always go well. But we're approaching the middle of Sheringham now. We've walked from Cromer along the coastal path down to Sheringham. Wow. And here you can see one of the fishing boats that they launch down and directly into the sea here. And here you can see another ramp with all the fishing boats, and they'll slide down and under. Come down there and out into the sea. Absolutely amazing. Sheringham's beautiful. So here we are. I've had to use the mic because the wind's picked up a bit, but we've made it to Sheringham. We've walked from Cromer along the deep history coastline, the coastal walk, only a short distance from Cromer to Sheringham. We've done it in 3 hours at a leisurely pace. We've walked in the footsteps of the Mammoth, and an 850,000 year old discovery of a human footstep was found here, the oldest outside of Africa. We've seen coastal erosion, and we've seen some of the most amazing coastal sights you're likely to see anywhere in the UK. Thank you very much for joining me on this walk. I hope you enjoyed it. Please consider my patron, and if you like this, make sure you subscribe. There's plenty more coming up, and I've enjoyed this walk. Hope you have too. More to come. I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.
I know exactly what you're talking about. You want me to go in the other man, but you want me to go down.